Alright, so Alpha's dropped this week, which means we've got our first look at the new class trees. I'm going to be starting off with the class tree, then moving over to the spec tree. We've got the new Midnight one on the left. Well, then on the right, starting off with the class tree, the tier 1 section is very similar to live with a few changes. We've got interpose as well as intervene. So they didn't want to bring back safeguard, which was a really strong cooldown. So interpose is not as strong, but it still gives you that intervene movement. And pain gain is still here, which does nothing. That is 0.2% of your health a second. That's not saving you from anything. That's not healing anything. It's just completely filler. And that's pretty much all that happened to the tier 1 tree coming into midnight. Tier 2, bitter immunity is gone. Never really used it much in raid. I can't say I know about top end PvP or Mythic Plus, so that might be more impactful there, but that's not gonna really impact raid too much. And Crackling Thunder has been moved from below Thunderclap, which makes sense, to below Pain and Gain. That's a really bad talent already. But then you're putting Crackling Thunder under it instead of under Thunderclap. I don't know what they were doing here, but that is insane. And Rend is back, which I'm excited for, because I was excited about Rend in the Dragonflight Alpha. I never got to play it. I was excited about Bleed Fury when Reckless Abandon was reworked, and now we've got another chance at Bleed Fury with Rend coming back. Rend by itself does all enemies within 8 yards, which makes its other node, Blood and Thunder, a little weird, because that's still kept to 5. And it's also just another talent. So I think they need to just have Rend and then just have Rend affect Thunderclap if you have it, because I don't really see a point to Blood and Thunder existing. Barbaric Training, same talent, but it no longer affects Thunderclap for Prod. And for Fury, it says Slam does more damage, and Rampage now replaces Slam. I don't think it says so on Wowhead, but I'm pretty sure it does in game. But this doesn't affect Slam. So this is still a dead talent if you're not Mountain Thane. Maybe it'll work on Rampage. It doesn't work on Mortal Strike, so it's hard to say. Piercing Howl. Where is that? There, Piercing Howl. It's a raw. It's a raid raw, which is good to see. It's good to see Warrior getting some raid utility after not having some for so long. Armor to the teeth. Oh, especially after Rally was nerfed halfway through Dragonflight. Getting something else is really good. Armor to the teeth is here now instead of tier 3. We've got a new talent replacing it in tier 3. So you'd think, oh, you get more pets to spawn on utility in tier 3. We've got Death Strikes, which is now Mastery, and just auto attack damage. So we've now got still 4 nodes of 2 points in tier 3. So if we just build our way down there, you are still gonna be taking everything on that row, which is just, it's just points, it's just stats. It's really boring edit, but they're pretty set and stood on it. It's been like that for years now. We've got Crushing Force here, that's the same. And then we've got Wrecking Throw and Shattering Throw. They're tier 3. And then this. So apparently Sidearm is strong enough to be this far down in the tree, in the tier 3 gate. It's not. It's just pathing into Battlefield Commander, which is now come over from the PvP tree. Battle Shout only affects yourself, so that's not going to be a huge raid buff. And then it also grants larger range to Pissing Howl, so your rolls better. And then Rallying Cry is also giving Leech. The movement speed on it is not going to be that impactful. No one uses Berserker Shout. Intimidating Shout has been changed, so it now has the old Menace in by default, and now Menace makes them actually run away. Anger Management in the Clash tree should have been there. It was in every specs tree. Now it's in the tier 3 section of the Clash tree, which makes perfect sense. Last Stand, very weak. Getting a 30% heal every 4 minutes. It's not gonna like save you from a one-shot because you need to be just roll below 20. I could see that down to like 2 minutes maybe, but yeah, Last Stand just seems very weak. Champion Spear, no longer intended to be a damage cooldown. This is now very similar to Demon Hunter's Sigiled Chains. But if they want it to be utility, I want to see the damage come down on it more, just so there's no chance that you actually use this thing as damage, and it's still generating the rage as well. So I'm sure that's a work in progress, and they'll nerf the damage component of Spear. Yeah, so the Clash tree's gone pretty unchanged because they just reworked it in War Within sort of recently. Now the Clash tree, the Spec tree even. Spec tree, big changes. We've got the new layout that lots more specs have been adopting. Starting with Thane, Bloodthirst at the top, Thane, Raging Bow beneath it. And then for some reason, Blizzard is still adamant about locking Rampage behind hitting level 27. That is insane. You just... Leveling as Fury is just not a thing because you just can't get Rampage till level 27. Why is it not here? Surely that is getting changed soon. Fresh meat. Very situational, very niche, quite weak. I haven't taken advantage of fresh meat since Shadowlands. But you have to take it now to get Focusing Chaos, which is a pretty good damage talent. Improved Whirlwind. That now gives all 4 stacks. So there's no 2-point investment for AoE, which means Meat Cleaver is going to do some more interesting stuff. And then Warpaint and Invigorating Fury are now on a choice node. You're never going to take Invigorating Fury. 10% damage reduction a lot of the time is just way better than a slightly better Enraged Regeneration. Improved Execute is still here. I personally would like to see this on a choice node with Execute has no cooldown. But maybe Blizzard think that's too encroaching on arms. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Improved Bloodthirst, this is just Crushing Force. It was even a 2-pointer on the War Within tree. It's now a 1-pointer here, but it's just the same talent, same effects, just on your spec tree as well. Obviously, Rampage still this far down in the tree. No idea why. Cruelty's the same, and then Meat Cleaver. This sounds interesting. You are rewarded for playing the spec correctly. The problem is, Whirlwind does no damage. So doing 100% more damage is not going to really change anything. Whirlwind's damage either needs to come up, or this multiplier either needs to go up. I'd probably suggest Whirlwind comes up, so Thane doesn't deal extreme amounts of AoE damage. Vicious Content. Now 1 pointer. Cold Steel Hot Blood, still the same. Scent of Blood. Rampage increases damage with next Bloodthirst. It's just to get you to press some Bloodthirst more. Stacking twice. I don't know when you can get 2 Rampages before a Bloodthirst. Maybe they, I don't know, maybe that's just a safety net for if you end up not pressing Bloodthirst as high a priority as they want. Hack and Slash still the same. Blood Craze is now crit damage instead of crit chance. Which is concerning because if Bloodthirst isn't tuned high enough, then you're just not going to press it. Instead of stacking that crit chance, getting the guaranteed crit or close to, and then knowing your Bloodthirst is going to do a lot of damage, you're now locked behind your own crit chance, which is the same as every other ability. So if Bloodthirst isn't good, then yeah, it's a bit yucky. Unslaked Thirst. Bloodthirst increases raging blow damage. So you want to hit Bloodthirst because it's going to make the rest of your stuff do damage. You want to hit Bloodthirst because Rampage is making it do more damage. And then Bloodborne. This is now changed to targets hit by Bloodthirst and our crit take more damage from bleeds. So it's again emphasizing pressing Bloodthirst. Deep Wounds. Good. Executes inflict a bleed. More reason to press execute. Fury really needed that because before it was just waiting for a million conditionals from Slayer, but now it has a reason to press execute. And it gets a bleed. So Rend is bleeding, Deep Wounds is bleeding, Gushing Wounds is bleeding, Bloodbath from Reckless Abandon is bleeding, and then you've got Bloodborne. I'm not gonna say Bleed Fury's real, but Bleed Fury's looking real. And then we've got Massacre. Massacre's still the same. So I'd say, yeah, that's really weak on live. But that's because we don't care about pressing execute. Now we've got Deep Wounds. We've got a talent later on. I think maybe Massacre might be good. Wrath and Fury is still the same, and Rampaging Ruin. So the way this reads, it would sound like Rampage also strikes everything in front of you, regardless of your Whirlwind's cap for damage. What it's actually doing is replacing your Whirlwind, your Rampage in AoE with this attack. So it's not very good right now. Hopefully they can make this additive and maybe put a targets hit by Rampage restriction on it. But yeah, that's not very good right now. Deft Experienced is still the same. And then Swift Strikes, which was haste and a little bit more rage, has been replaced by Frenzy. And finally, Frenzy has been changed to stack on you instead of the target. And it's not a refreshing debuff that stacks to 4. It's giving you 8%. Instead, it is similar to Guardian Druid's Ironbark. Is it Ironbark? Iron Fur, one of them. where it just applies 1%, that lasts 12 seconds, and you can get other applications that will also last 12 seconds. So you're going to be sitting at around, what, like 3 or 4% haste constantly? Maybe 5, like 3, 4, or 5% haste, which is weaker than Frenzy was, but it's now stacking on you, and it's on the row with... I didn't realize. Mastery has been reduced. Has been, yeah, the stats have been taken off of crit thinking and deft experience. So these are weaker, which is nice in a way because these were kind of forced to take before. Because they were just stats, but now they've had the stats taken off of them. Which means that if everything here is weak, you're not just going to go, oh, I'm going to take the stat notes. There are other actual choices to make, which is nice in a way to see. Yeah, Frenzy stacks on you, which is good. And then crit thinking, it's the same. It's the just damage component of that. And then Rage Drinker. Bloodthirst, critical strikes restore twice as much health. It's flavor, it's cool, it's not that impactful, and enrage you for 2 seconds. This could either be good or completely pointless. If enrage uptime as it is good, then this talent will do nothing. If enrage uptime is not good, like it was in BFA, I know I think I remember at the start of BFA, you weren't having like super high enrage time, then this could be good, but it needs to be additive. It's not very clear in the description like it is for Deft. But yeah, if that's not adding to your active enrage, then that talent is completely dead. Now, Executioner's Wrath. Execute generates more rage. Cool. And increases the damage of Rampage for 4 seconds. So the base cooldown on Execute is... Oh, here we go. 5 seconds? No. 4.5. Or 6. I think it's 6. Then reduced to 4.5. Nope, it's 4.5 reduced to 3, I think. Anyway, there's two GCDs, or 3 if you don't have Massacre. So taking Massacre is going to let you have more uptime on this Rampage buff. So Massacre, like, along with Deep Wounds, it's looking alright. It's looking much healthier than it was in Dragonflight and War Within. And then we've got Odin's Fury and Bladestorm on a choice node. This is not a choice node. It's a, are you Mountain Thane? Are you Slayer? Because Mountain Thane's going to take Odin's Fury, and Slayer has to take Bladestorm. Odin's Fury enrages you now, which is good. But it doesn't generate 4 Whirlwind stacks like it did with Titanic Rage. So if you had Improved Whirlwind and took Odin's Fury, I'd like to see that generate the Whirlwind stacks that it currently does if you talent into it. And then Bladestorm. Either this is accidental by Blizzard and they've replaced it with the ARMS version, or they've nerfed it. Because on live, Furies is 1 minute. Oh, not on Wowhead. Alright, but in game, Furies is 1 minute. And it's reduced by anger management. As it's looking right now, it's 1.5 minutes. And it is not reduced by anger management. So, and there's no Unhinged. Unhinged has been removed. So Bladestorm is a lot weaker than it is on live, which is going to make Slayer struggle a little bit unless they fix it. Surge of Adrenaline. This, along with like Rage Drinker, very boring talents to have in the tier 3 rare. You're not even seeing this. You can see your health go up. What are you gonna do? Zoom in, look at your guy attack faster. Like that's just it's just pure. It's not even like a lot of damage. Just a little bit of damage, and it's this far down the tree. Kill or be killed. This is a trait from the artifact weapons. It's cool that it's here, but it's not good. You have to kill what killed you to actually stay alive. And that is not happening in raids. That is not happening in Mythic Plus. And that is most likely not happening in PvP. So it's just completely unusable in most content where you're actually probably gonna die. So the requirement on staying alive on this needs to be changed. Because that is also it's just not good. It's not good. And it's also at the very bottom of the tree. Other classes with cheat deaths, I think Rogues is in tier 2. Fire Mages Cauterize is in tier 1. This isn't even a proper cheat death, and it's a tier 3 at the very bottom. I don't know. Not good. And then Avatar and Reckless Abandon are now on a choice node. Alright, so being able to combine Reckless Abandon with Anger Management is cool. But Avatar. The Avatar's not reduced by Anger Management. So you just have this 1.5 minute cooldown. It's not going to align with Recklessness, unless you can get that to 45 seconds. It's not going to align with Bladestorm, because that's reduced by Slayer. It's going to align with every other Odin Suri. I don't know. It's a very strange button to have. And then, so what I'd like to see is Recklessness was nerfed. So instead of 100% extra rage, it's now 50% extra rage. I'd like to see the other 50% rage put back into Reckless Abandon. Or maybe Avatar. Maybe put it back into Avatar. Yeah, because we've got the ability mods on Rec. So give the rage back to Avatar, and then have Avatar like combine with Recklessness, like the Paladin Avenging Wraths do. So have Rec increase your damage by 20% and give you that extra rage back. I think that would make Avatar like worth thinking about. And then Unbridled Ferocity, the final talent that we're getting to. Wow. They have not changed it from retail. I'm sure hoping they do. Because we're new expansion, so at the start of it we're gonna have less stats. Stat squish, we're gonna have less stats. And then having a 6% chance to proc a 4-second recklessness? That is an insanely weak talent to have at the bottom of this tree. You're gonna be getting, it's like currently on live, it's about 1 proc a minute. Way less than that. It's gonna be like 1 proc every minute and a half. Like, what are we doing? That chance and duration need to come up to justify its place there. Right. Hero specs. Slayer's been changed a little bit. Overwhelm now stacks to 5. Yep. It's on paper it's a numbers nerf, but obviously there's no tuning, so the only thing it does is it allows you to swap targets easier. This is something I'd really noticed, like on Forge Master or Res. Like, you can't really swap to that Echo because you're losing your Overwhelm stacks, you're losing your Mocked Execution stacks, you're losing your Frenzy stacks. We fixed Frenzy. We've reduced the stacks on Overwhelm. Marked for Execution's still there, but you stack them really fast anyway. So we're making it a lot easier for Fury to switch targets, which is good. And then Execute has been added to Slayer's Malice, as it always should have been. The Execute tree didn't have an Execute damage buff in it. But now it does, it's fixed. For the rest of the NYI talents, it needs to buff backup Bladestorm to make it a good button to press in single target. Because with Unhinged removed, not good. Not good. And then Mountain Thane, so far completely unchanged. What I want to see from Mountain Thane's new talents is Missa Pandaria Stormbolt going back. So just that 30-second cooldown, 27 apparently, that just hits like a truck. And it's thematic as well for the Warcraft 3 Mountain King that this is sort of based around. Now they need to change Stormbolt a little bit. So you could either take the stun off of Stormbolt, or you could like remove Stormbolt from the DR table. That would need to change. It would also be a second required point in the tree. But this is only the first iteration, so I'm sure they could figure that out. And yeah. Oh, there's also the talent here for like multiple Stormbolts. That would probably need a change if you drag it back, or it would just be the other Stormbolts don't do way more damage. But yeah, that is it. That is the first week of alpha changes. It's looking good. It's looking promising. Hopefully there'll be some good stuff next week.